the most disgusting things gymnasts have done mid-routine?
They can't even eat in front of their coaches. Let's face it, gymnastics requires performers to stay thin so that they can continue being flexible. But this one came as a huge shock. Coaches constantly check on gymnasts' weight, sometimes on a daily basis, according to Anna White, and severely restrict their calorie intake. Because she was afraid that the coaches would come in and inspect her luggage for meals, one gymnast told White that she'd hide food in her toiletry bag, wrap cereal bars in her socks and underwear, and put them below the liner of her suitcase. She was just 18 to 19 years old at the time. White went on to say that she'd heard extreme stories like gymnasts storing food in ceiling tiles or beneath their beds in their dorms. She heard about coaches army-style examining hotel rooms and travel bags for food. That's terrifying. Second, are grapes banned? Not only was food rationed, but even seemingly healthful fruits were also prohibited. White was informed about different methods of rationing or controlling food, such as having bedroom bins inspected for food wrappers, being denied second portions, including vegetables, and momentarily presenting gymnasts with children's plates to eat from, with divisions and ridges to decrease food intake. Gymnasts were also warned not to eat grapes since they are the highest fat fruit, and that their meal should be the size of the palm of their hand, including vegetables. One gymnast told White that she'd use laxatives to guarantee she could go before weigh-ins, or she'd restrict her water consumption to avoid counting too much water weight. Their month-to-month timetable was also unaccounted for. Because women were on their period, sometimes they gained 1 or 2 kilograms, which of course added their weight on the scale, and they'd be rejected immediately after this. White went on to say that one sports scientist informed her that they'd seen gymnasts dragged off a piece of apparatus in the middle of a practice and weighed. This was frequently done when the coach thought the gymnast was underperforming. If the gymnasts acquired even the smallest amount of weight, some trainers would basically declare, "That's why you can't execute your talent." Several gymnasts experienced abusive verbal comments concerning their own and other people's weight. For example, it was stated that bad performance in a routine was due to the gymnast being fat, or that they should avoid wearing specific leotards because they were fat. She heard things like, "Big arse," "You look like a whale," "You look like you have a beer belly," "Your thighs are horrible," and "You're pouring out of your leotard." Another female gymnast stated that they would be smacked in the face with their expanding breasts. Oh, and being injured leads to more bullying.
What am I hearing? Okay, so there's two things, right? One, I completely get it if we're talking about obese people. But bro, obese people can't run, let alone do like a backflip.
That's nuts. Cause like, yo, when you think about like gymnasts, like these girls and men are usually in like fucking pretty, not even good, like very good shape.
Some gymnasts were tied to the bars for lengthy periods of time, while others were forced to climb the rope because they needed to use the restroom or had gone over their break time.
Wait. He said some gymnasts were tied to the bar, and then did you notice exactly that? Hold on. I'm not gonna say anything. Listen very closely and look at the transition of the picture and what it transitions to. Listen.
Some gymnasts were tied to the bars for like.
Bro. Anyways.
She stated that she got several submissions from top gymnasts who were made to feel sluggish, a failure, and mentally weak when their ailment was acknowledged. These encounters occurred across the age spectrum. White revealed how one gymnast was purposely dumped from apparatus and dragged across the gym floor by their arms, while others were forced to exercise despite ailments, including shattered bones. She went on to say that a male gymnast indicated he'd be spanked if he had unpointed shoes or bowed knees. Another stated that if they didn't stand to attention, they'd be physically smacked. According to one international gymnast, their personal coach sat on their lower back, pressing their legs to the floor and then raising up their knees, causing considerable discomfort. One gymnast informed White that they purposefully shed 3 kilograms in one weekend before a competition by fasting for 2 days and practicing intensely. Some of these young individuals felt as though their coach's attitude on weight had sapped them of their identity. As a result, a substantial proportion of gymnasts developed unhealthy relationships with food, body image, and weight.
Bro, that's actually crazy. That's like psychologically tough.
That's kind of sad.
Female artistic gymnasts to train for extended hours from a young age. She was told of some 7- and 8-year-olds who are training for 20 hours or more each week. Since the commencement of
How is there not like a viral Netflix documentary like exposing this whole industry? I'm sure there are documentaries, but like I haven't heard of any.
Gymnasts have described the twisties as a mental barrier, an unexpected mental block such as the yips in playing golf might cost you a missed putt or a game. In gymnastics, it can cause a person to lose their sense of space and dimension when in the air, leading them to lose control of their body and do unexpected twists or flips. In the worst case scenario, they may find themselves unable to land safely. Biles, one of the sport's all-time greats, seemed disoriented while completing a vault on Tuesday and slipped as she landed. It was a moment that instantly struck a chord with those who suspected what she was going through. Claudia Fragapane, a British gymnast, participated in the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. She fell in the qualification stages on the uneven bars and the balancing beam, and then in April this year,
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
Sustained a head injury and missed the individual all-around final in Tokyo. Also, what's up with the weird white powder? Why do gymnasts apply the white powder to their hands before performing a routine?
Hey, yo, you know a thing about white powder, don't you?
Preparation for their hands, allowing them to maintain a stronger grip on, for example, parallel bars, and reducing friction between their hands and the bars. Some gymnasts wear one slipper, while others wear two. In any case, it improves grip and allows them to turn more effectively on the balancing beam or during floor exercises. Mid-routine costume change? Viewers may be forgiven for believing they were seeing things during the Russian Olympic Committee's rhythmic gymnastics ball performance after 2 weeks of scintillating Tokyo Olympics action. While the all-around group of 5 went onto the Ariake Gymnastics Center floor in Tokyo in 2021, they were impossible to miss in their hot pink attire. Anastasia Bliznyuk, Anastasia Maximov, Angelina Shikatova, Anastasia Tatareva, and Alisa Tishchenko were wrapped in glittering blue and gold towards the end of the dance. It was a normal costume change that would be forgotten in the blink of an eye. Another question is how they achieved it. There was no evident cause for the alteration, which was immediately followed by a roll. Finally, some gymnastics facts. During a high-stakes tournament, such as the Olympics, most of the drama takes place on the gymnastics floor. Many gymnasts get to blend their talent, athleticism, and personality on the floor. Elite and young gymnasts both develop complicated abilities by repeating the same actions until they are committed to muscle memory. Simone Biles became the first woman to ever accomplish a triple-double in their floor routine, which included a double flip and 3 twists in the air. Simone was able to do this because of her meticulous training program and repeating repetitions. Women gymnasts are required to be elegant while performing strong movements on the floor, whilst males are encouraged to focus only on force. Of course, expectations for men and women gymnasts have altered since the sport's inception as an Olympic event, and this growth is undoubtedly linked to changing gender roles outside of gymnastics. Gymnasts, like Simone Biles, demonstrate that women, too, can accomplish routines that require incredible strength on the floor. In fact, while dancing movements are still needed for female gymnasts, strong moves like the Biles show that when it comes to floor routines, female gymnasts are all about strength these days. The American women's gymnastics team, according to Vox, dominates because its competitors are by far the strongest in the sport, even if they are not as elegant as the Russian or Chinese teams. So, although female gymnasts are performing really difficult maneuvers on the floor, they're also dancing to the music, mostly because that's what was expected of them when gymnastics became a women's sport. That's a wrap for this video.
If you want to see more videos, subscribe, hit that like button, all that good stuff.